There are 4 seasons in Stardew Valley. The names of these 4 seasons are so good that we as a species even decided to call our own seasons the same names. I am of course referring to spring, summer, fall, and winter. Now all 4 of them are 28 days long. But what if that wasn't the case? What if instead of 28 days, they were just 1 day long? Would the game be easier if the season changed every day? Or would it be more difficult? There are a lot more questions I could ask, but there's one question that stands out to me the most. A question that we are going to find the answer to in this video. Can you complete the community center if the season changes every day? First off, how exactly do we change the season every day? Well, the CJB Cheats menu mod allows you to change the season whenever you want. So yeah, that takes care of that whole thing. Second, I'm also using 3 other mods. The Automate mod because I simply cannot play without it at this point, the Vibrant Recolor mod, and the Seasonal Outfits mod. I will have links to all 4 of these mods in the description of this video. One more thing, this video will be done using the 100 days format, which means I will be showing you what happened on a day-by-day basis. Without any further ado, let us get started on what I hope will be a wonderful adventure. Day 1 begins in, well, typical fashion really. I opened the box that was left in my house and I received 15 parsnip seeds. Following that, I used my trusty scythe to clear out the weeds and grass directly in front of the house. I acquire enough wood to make a chest and deposit most of my inventory into that chest. With our farming duties for the day basically fulfilled, it is now foraging time. In case anybody doesn't know, you can take a screenshot of the entire area you're in. All you have to do is go to this section in the menu. That is what I've done here, and unfortunately there are 0 forage items in the town center and the surrounding areas. As if that wasn't bad enough, Gustavo caught me doing a bit of dumpster diving. And what makes it even worse is I may have been going through his trash can specifically. You know, I feel like an apology is in order here. An apology needs to take place, and I think Gus needs to apologize to me, quite frankly. He interrupted my trash can shenanigans. There is no universe in which that is an acceptable thing for anybody to do. Anywhomst, after exploring pretty much the entirety of the town, I returned to the farm where I tossed sap, parsnip and carrot seeds, and oyster and clams into the shipping bin. Then I embark on what is quite possibly the absolute worst foraging run that has ever taken place in the forest. Like, genuinely, I don't think I've ever gotten 0 spring onions here before. While footage of that plays, I want to talk about the parsnip and carrot seeds I mentioned earlier. The reason why I threw them into the shipping bin is quite simple, really. I can't use them. I can plant them, sure, but because tomorrow is going to be summer, they're going to wither away. It's a bit of an inconvenience, I will admit, but there are other ways of making money, so it should be fine. Back to the gameplay now. I completely exhausted myself by accident. I took that as a sign that it's time to head to sleep. Before doing so, I set the season to summer and bumped the time forward by a week. I did this to allow new forage items to spawn in tomorrow so we can really see the benefits of changing the season every day. And that was the worst first day I have had probably ever. I really hope that isn't a sign of things to come. Marnie is here on the farm on the morning of day 2. She is accompanied by a dog. Now, ordinarily this cutscene wouldn't happen on day 2, but because we've jumped forward to summer, the game thinks we've already played for more than an entire season. Which means I get to adopt a dog on this wonderful morning. What an absolutely marvelous way to begin the day. The boulder that blocks the entrance to the bathhouse area in the north has been removed. Again, this wouldn't happen in a normal playthrough, but it does here because of us going straight into summer on day 2. I dig up a couple of summer seeds, fantastic, these are useless. A major benefit of unlocking this area this early is you can regenerate energy by going into the swimming pool in the bathhouse. And you regenerate that energy rather quickly too. With that knowledge in my mind, I decide to chop down every tree here. As you can imagine, this uses up quite a bit of energy. Energy which is almost immediately regained. Lovely stuff. Once again, my invaluable dumpster diving time has been interrupted, this time by the renowned scallywag Mir Lewis. I didn't even get the chance to go through his trash can. It's almost like he was waiting for me to come along so he could stop me. How very rude. I pay a visit to the one person I know will never disrespect me. The man the myth, the greatest specimen the entire Valley of Stardew has ever seen, William. I need to buy a fishing rod from him. Under normal circumstances, a cutscene would have played and he would have given us a fishing rod for free. But circumstances are not normal. And so the cutscene did not play and I did not receive the fishing rod. Luckily, I can buy the training rod for 25 gold. I catch a sunfish, and that is the end of our fishing escapades, for now at least. I become acquainted, shall we say, with the trash can in front of Jodie's house, and I find bread. It's always nice finding bread and other dishes this early in the game. The energy they give is a massive help right now. As I chose the Riverland farm, I decided to do a bit of fishing just outside the farmhouse. The training rod makes the green bar a lot bigger, so it's easier to get perfect catches, which means we get more fishing experience. I spend quite some time fishing here before taking a little break to go on a bit of a foraging run in the forest. I found a sweet pea and a spiceberry, which is actually a lot better than I expected. We really weren't having good luck when it came to getting forage items up until now. I spend the remainder of the day fishing. Before I go to bed, I bump the time forward by a week and I set the season to fall. Another consequence of the season changing every day is seen when I go to bed, as the game lets me know that I can now find mystery boxes. William has sent us a letter on day 3. Now the cutscene in which he gives us the fishing rod will play. It's good to know that the game doesn't skip that cutscene entirely. That's nice. The special orders board has been built in the town center by Robin. Not Robin and Lewis, just Robin. I want to make that very clear. If Robin did all the work, then I want to make sure she gets all the credit and not that absolute rapscallion known as Lewis. I find a blackberry wonderful, followed by cookies even more wonderful. I check out the special orders board and discover that William wants 100 pieces of bug meat. I have minus 65 days to get this done. Right, I have a few questions about that one. I am curious as to how the special orders board will work with the season changing every day though. It might be a case of we have to complete the special order on the same day we accept it. We'll find out soon, I'm sure. I talked to William at the beach to acquire the bamboo fishing rod. The training rod is handy, but only a very limited pool of fish spawn when you're using it. And you can't get silver, gold or iridium quality fish, so it's a bit of a trade-off. After spending a decent chunk of the afternoon fishing, I sell a bunch of fish to William and then one more fish to him along with some bait I found in a treasure chest. Our fishing adventure for the day has not concluded, however, nay, it is only just getting started. You see, as it is fall and we are level 3 in fishing, we can catch a very special fish. That fish is the angler, one of the 5 legendary fish in the game. It's also one of my favorites because catching a legendary fish is like pressing a button on a vending machine that dispenses dopamine. And this one is rather easy to catch, so it's basically free dopamine. What is not free dopamine is when yet another person decides to judge me for searching for goodies in trash cans. Come on, don't be jealous just because you didn't think of it first, alright? It's not my fault that I was smart enough to call dibs on every trash can in town. The Riverland farm comes with a fish smoker, so I toss my angler fish into it. This will double the amount of gold we get for this fish. Bubbles have appeared, so once again I shall spend the remainder of the day fishing. If we reach level 5 in fishing, we will be able to catch, or attempt to catch, a legendary fish during the next summer day. I've also been having rather good luck when it comes to getting a treasure chest while fishing so far. I even got a diamond in one of them. I grab the angler fish and toss it, cookies, bread and a diamond into the shipping bin. I do a bit more fishing, bump the time forward by a week and set the season to winter. Not only did we hit level 4 in fishing, we also made 2,750 gold and Santa Claus showed up at the top of the screen. This was easily the best day so far. Clinton is here on day 4. As a result of me getting copper ore while fishing yesterday, he is bestowing the crafting recipe for the furnace upon us. I appreciate him making the trek up here in this freezing cold weather. Thank you, Clinton. We are off to a good start foraging wise as I find carrot seeds, a crocus, a crystal fruit and a winter root. I think Lady Luck herself may have finally decided to give us a hand. There is a night and day difference between now and the first 2 days when it comes to foraging. I even managed to get a snow yam, which means all 4 winter forage items have been acquired. Today just so happens to be when the Feast of the Winter Star takes place. I mean, I love this event, so I'm not going to complain, but the question I have is who do I have to give a gift to? I hope it isn't Abigail's father or Mira Lewis. It's Robin. Okay, that's fine, I'm good with that. She likes crocus, and I'm confident that I'll be able to find one in the forest later tonight, so I happily give her the one in my inventory. The person giving me a gift is Abigail's father. He gives me a pumpkin pie. That's worth like 350 gold, or we can use it to get like 200 energy back if we eat it. You know what? Thank you, Pierre. It feels weird saying his name after not saying it in every playthrough I've done during the last like year or so. But I feel like he earned it with that gift. I would even go so far as to say that he has been removed from my list of enemies. I do a bit of gallivanting around the forest for a longer duration of time than I should have. The result of this being me finding myself at the beach at 1 in the morning. I've gotten my hands on some tasty items this evening, but if there's one thing I value more than forage items, it's sleep. And so I make a beeline for my house. Of course, I stop and rummage through a trash can or 2 or 3 along the way, but I mean other than that and digging up an artifact spot, there was absolutely no dilly-dallying on my part. That being said, I wasn't entirely confident that I would make it back in time, so I preemptively set the time forward by a week, and I moved the season forward to spring. I'm glad I did, as I passed out before I could reach the house. It is snowing on day 5. That would not be remarkable if it was winter, but it isn't. It's spring. Within the first 5 seconds of being outside in this weather, I can confirm that it makes me feel whimsical. This weather for some reason makes me feel a type of childlike wonder that I seem to experience less and less often nowadays. It feels odd to experience such a strong feeling of joy because of something as simple as snow during springtime, but you know what they say, right? It's the little things in life. If I were to spend the entirety of today doing nothing but walking around, taking in all of the sights and sounds of Pelican Town, I would truly consider it to be a 10 out of 10 day. Unfortunately, I have responsibilities to take care of, the first being to buy the backpack upgrade. I like to get this before going into the mines, which I plan on doing today. But first, a cutscene. This one features something I care deeply about, the community center. This right here is the reason why we have embarked on this adventure. Our sole purpose in life is to repair this building and restore the magical aura it once brought to this town. Alas, all good things do come with a price, and this is no exception. Lewis is here. He is involved in this cutscene too. And he just won't stop yapping. Listen, Lewis, I don't want to be mean, but it would behoove you to refrain from speaking when in my presence. Sometimes I wonder if I'm too harsh on Lewis, but then I remember how he treats Marnie, and I think to myself, perhaps I don't treat him harshly enough. I have a look at the golden scroll in the community center. I've actually lost count of how many times I forget to do this after watching that cutscene in previous playthroughs. I'm rather proud of myself for remembering to do that here. I entered the mines for the first time and introduce myself to Marlon. He gives me the rusty sword. I was very much hoping to get a weapon in a treasure chest while fishing, but no luck there unfortunately. I begin making my way through the floors here, my main priority being to obtain items needed for the community center. So things like quartz, an earth crystal, and a copper bar. Anything else I get today is a bonus, really. I make it to floor 10 and receive a delicious pair of boots. Before going any further, I make a furnace and one more furnace and plop them down at the top of the mines. I mentioned in the intro that I'm using the automate mod. So if I place a chest beside the furnace and I toss coal and ores into the chest, it will put those ores into the furnace automatically. It's a very handy mod, and I would simply perish if I had to play the game without it. Okay, no, I'm being a bit dramatic, but in all honesty, the vibes would not be immaculate if I played the game without the automate mod. Speaking of vibes that are not immaculate, the rusty sword is proving to be a massive thorn in my side. The best comparison I can think of is using this rusty sword is a bit like using a plastic spoon to fight a dragon. Luckily, I find a replacement weapon in the chest on floor 20. I decided to go for the remixed mine rewards option, hence me getting the elf blade here. I'm not the biggest fan of dagger weapons, but anything is a step up from the rusty sword, so I'm happy with this. It's getting rather close to 2 in the morning, so I do the usual routine of setting the time forward by a week and changing the season to summer. I don't think I need to mention that at the end of every day anymore. We have received 2 important letters on day 6. Marlin has informed us that we can join the Adventurers Guild if we can defeat 10 slimes. That seems easy enough. And the town's resident wizard has requested that we visit his tower in the forest as he wishes to speak with us about the community center. I take all of the items I need with me before I enter the forest, partaking in a foraging run on my way to his tower. I find the spiceberry nice, but I do not find a grape. Not nice. The wizard introduces me to magical creatures called Junimos. They have turned the old abandoned community center into their home. They are the ones who wrote on the golden scroll we found in there yesterday. The wizard teaches me how to read, speak, and understand their language, which means we can finally begin donating items to the community center. But first, trash can. And another trash can. And another, you get the point. I find a sweet pea just outside the community center and I head inside. But then something happens. A voice in the back of my head tells me that I need to check the mountain area. I do as the voice tells me to do and I find a grape. Beautiful, that is the 3rd summer forage item. With that acquired, I donate everything that is needed for the spring, summer, and winter foraging bundles. We have just received 30 spring, summer, and winter seeds as rewards. On top of that, the pantry, fishing, boiler room, and bulletin board bundles have all been unlocked as well. If we can finish one more bundle, we will unlock the final set of bundles in the vault room. That should be easy because if I can get my hands on a wild plum and a hazelnut during the next fall day, which happens to be tomorrow, I can complete the fall foraging bundle and unlock that room. I have a few mystery boxes and geodes that I want to open, so I visit Clinton and ask him to do so. Or rather, I have him break open 2 mystery boxes and nothing else because my inventory is full. Oops. I'm going to prioritize the mines for the rest of the day, so I toss everything into a chest beside my furnaces and I head inside. I immediately encounter 8 bugs on floor 21, which is splendiferous news as we can obtain the insect head for defeating 80 bugs. The insect head is an amazing weapon for the early stages of the game, so the sooner we get our hands on it, the better. I would also like to get 100 bug meat for William as he asked for in his special order, so it's a double whammy. Though I will say, there is a less than 0% chance of us being able to do that second one. Floor 29 is a monster-only floor, which works in our favor as this means a bunch of bugs spawn. It is on this floor that I defeat bug number 80. I take a break from the mines to graciously accept my insect head from Marlin and Gil inside the Adventurers Guild, then it's right back into the fray. I find myself on floor 30, aka the beginning of the dark floors. In a previous lifetime, I would have been terrified of these next 10 floors, but now, that's not the case. Although the darkness has consumed everything on these floors, the light that shines from my insect head guides me closer and closer to the light of floor 40 with every step I take. The insect head is not just a weapon, no, it is an ally, an accomplice. I would even go so far as to say it is a friend. Accompanied and motivated by the insect head, I battle the enemies and make my way towards floor 40 with every ounce of passion and determination that runs through my veins. As the clock strikes dangerously close to 2 AM, I do it. I make it to the icy floors. The shadows have been defeated. On the morning of day 7, I do something I rarely do since the 1.6 update was released. I watch the Queen of Sauce TV show. That update allows you to buy the Queen of Sauce cookbook from the bookseller and learn all of the cooking recipes that way. So actually watching the TV show for once was a bit of a nostalgia trip more than anything else. I find 2 blackberries almost immediately upon entering the forest. I'm still on the hunt for a wild plum and a hazelnut for the community center though. I find a 3rd blackberry and that is it for the forest unfortunately. The traveling cart is here but it doesn't have anything I need for the community center. I could buy the duck egg and the morel? I don't know how to pronounce that one, but you know what I mean. But they're not too difficult to get our hands on, so I would rather wait and save that money. The main things we are looking for in the traveling cart is crops. Potato, parsnip, eggplant, melon, red cabbage, all of those and quite a bit more. I'm rather excited to check what's being sold here every week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I donate 3 items to the museum, earning a 250 gold reward which I do not collect yet. I'm letting that gold marinate for a while, so it will feel even better when I eventually do collect it. I break open the mystery boxes and geodes from yesterday. I got 3 coffees from one of the boxes, nice. I return to the museum to donate more items and collect 9 cauliflower seeds from Gunther, the owner of the museum. Up in the north, I find a wild plum just outside Robin's house and a hazelnut outside Linus's tent. As much as I want to donate these items right now, the mines are calling my name. And so I venture forth, delving deeper and deeper with every passing moment. I get my hands on a wide array of useful items like iron ore, coal, and different gems and minerals. The insect head is making very quick work of the monsters on these floors too. Basically everything is going absolutely flawlessly right now, which can only mean something horrible is about to happen soon. It's all downhill from here, let's be honest. Like, I get very suspicious when things go my way for a prolonged period of time. It just doesn't feel right, you know, it's like the universe itself just seems a bit sus. Or rather, that's what I used to think. The insect head is keeping me grounded. It senses my worries and it lets me know that it's okay to be happy. You're allowed to relax. You're allowed to accept that good things can and should happen to you. You're worthy of happiness. You're worthy of good luck and positive thoughts and joy and excitement and optimism. Above everything else, you should allow yourself to have hope, despite that voice in your head trying to convince you otherwise. Thank you, insect head. I feel a lot better now. I wasn't able to make it to floor 60 before I passed out, but that's alright. Tomorrow is a brand new day, full of even more opportunities. Day 8 begins with a trip to the community center where I donate the wild plum and the hazelnut. The fall foraging bundle has been completed and the vault room has been unlocked. We also only have to complete 2 more bundles for the foraging room. I donate an aquamarine to the bulletin board and several items to the boiler room bundles. If we can get our hands on a gold bar and a fire quartz, we'll complete this room and unlock the minecarts. I sell a snow yam, winter root, pumpkin pie, and fall seeds to give my bank account a little boost. Then I say hello to all of my friends in the trash can community and take a look at the special orders board. William is once again asking for 100 pieces of bug meat. I accept his order and I make a promise to myself that, unlike last time, I'm actually going to do it. I make a few donations to the museum. I don't have a reason for doing this, all it does is just make Gunther happy. Actually, that's reason enough for me. I'm gonna keep donating items to this fine establishment. I give my axe to Clinton so he can upgrade it, and I spend the remainder of the day in the mines collecting bug meat. I get my hands on some nice bits and bobs while doing so. Mystery boxes, copper, ore, and quartz are all added to my inventory among other items. At 1:30 AM, I find myself sitting at a total of 96 bug meat collected. I use a warp totem to get back to the house as it is sleepy time for me. I'm hoping I will still be able to do the special order tomorrow and it won't disappear or something. Mother has sent us cookies on day 9, thank you very much. William's special order is indeed still showing up in our journal, so I think we're good. We should be able to get the last 4 pieces of bug meat and drop them off with no issues. So let's do exactly that. Equipped with my trusty insect head, nay accompanied by the trusty insect head, I defeat some bugs and obtain the remaining meat I need. I make a quick stop in the community center to donate a sunfish, tuna, bream, cockle and crab to the fishing bundles along with a red mushroom, nautilus shell and stone to other bundles. Finally, after a little bit of lollygagging, I throw the 100 bug meat into a barrel outside William's shop and I proceed to partake in the usual fishing shenanigans. I was not vibing with the range of fish that can be caught today, however, and so I decided to abstain from fishing for the rest of the day. I collect a prize ticket for completing William's special order, and I ask Clinton to crack open some mystery boxes and geodes. I don't get anything noteworthy, though the beach warp totem might come in handy in the future. I hand over some valuable rocks to Gunther, and I ask Clinton to crack open even more boxes. I receive a glowstone ring, which I'm very happy about. I mean, it would have been even better if I'd gotten a new weapon or a Ferrari from the mystery boxes, but I'll take what I get. I also get a lucky lunch and an amethyst ring. Lovely stuff altogether. The influence the insect head has had on my motivation and determination cannot be understated. To put it simply, were it not for the insect head, I would abstain from entering the mines again until I've upgraded my pickaxe to at least copper quality. And yet, here we are, steamrolling our way through the mines with only a basic pickaxe. I even had the strength to make it to floor 70 tonight, and I picked up a gold bar along the way. And so it is off to the community centre where I do not make it into the boiler room on time. I passed out before I could donate the gold bar. That is embarrassing, and truthfully part of me considered not showing this footage. But I am, have been, and always will be a bit lackadaisical, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I utilise a warp totem to immediately teleport to the beach on day 10. I've got quite a few plans for today, so there can be absolutely no dilly-dallying. William has given us the crafting recipe for the quality bobber. This is the reward for completing the special order he gave us. I won't be using the quality bobber or even crafting it, but I appreciate the sentiment all the same. I find a rainbow shell. We don't need this for the community centre, but it's kinda cool being able to get our hands on one this early. Summer is without a doubt the most profitable season for us to fish in. More specifically here at the beach, as we can catch fish like tilapia, halibut and super cucumbers. I do a bit of fishing here before gallivanting over to Clinton's. I retrieve my copper axe, toss a few things into the shipping bin and once again teleport to the beach. I sell some fish, donate 2 dwarf scrolls to the museum and grab the translation guide. I want Clinton to upgrade my axe again, so I give it to him and I donate a tilapia, a frozen geode and a gold bar to the community centre. I receive a furnace in return for my hard work, lovely, and I also donate 10 hardwood that I got from a mystery box. You know, with it only being day 10, I'm actually very satisfied with how much progress we've made in the community centre. I have said the word actually so many times in this video, I apologise for that. On to what is quite possibly the saddest news of this entire playthrough so far, if not any playthrough I have ever done. Over in the mines, it finally happened. I defeated a skeleton and it dropped the bone sword. For a moment I felt excited, but then it dawned on me exactly what this means. As much as I don't want to do this, I fear I have to. I take the weapon that has helped me get to this point, the insect head. I hold it for a moment, my teardrops falling upon it. You've been the best weapon I could have ever asked for. You are truly the king of all weapons, I say to it. It smiles back at me, sad yet determined. Unfortunately for us, it says, not even a king lives forever. Remember the foes we have vanquished, the creatures we have defeated so swiftly. Let the memories of those battles guide your heart toward your destiny. I nod, taking a moment to collect myself before speaking again. I'll do you proud, my friend, I say to it before replacing it with the bone sword. The remainder of the day is spent here in the mines. Though my heart is heavy and my mood is somber, I managed to find a fire quartz on floor 83. As I donate the fire quartz completing the boiler room, I think about what happened today. I think about the insect head. And as I do, I remember a simple yet beautiful phrase. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. A green mist has descended upon the valley on day 11. An unexpected yet very welcome and very much needed surprise after the tragic loss we endured last night. There isn't much to be said about this morning. I just went around whacking all of the weeds to get fibre and moss. I decide to do a bit of fishing at the beach where I catch a sardine and a red snapper. Following that I move to the river outside Leah's cabin. I catch a shad, a tiger trout, a chub and finally a catfish. I return to the beach once again where I am absolutely embarrassed by what I believe was either an eel or a super cucumber. That was a very humbling experience. Not ready to admit defeat, I was able to recover from this and catch an eel soon afterwards. I enter the community centre, my excitement at an all-time high as I prepare to donate a metric ton of items. A mussel, shad, tiger trout, catfish, sardine, red snapper, eel and walleye have all been donated. 3 of the 6 fishing bundles are now done and dusted. I also donate a chub to complete one of the bulletin board bundles, so that is one of the 5 bulletin board bundles finished off. Day 12 is off to an interesting start as I bump into the shadow guy at the bus stop. If we find him, we can get the magnifying glass. This will allow us to collect and read secret notes. There is just one small issue. I forgot all about this cutscene as soon as it ended, so no magnifying glass for us for the time being. After finding nothing of value in the travelling cart, I say hello to my old buddies in the trash can village. I retrieve my axe from Clinton, and I think it's about time we upgrade our pickaxe. Now that I've completed the boiler room, I don't need to go through the mines anytime soon. William is selling sturgeon bait, so I buy all of it along with the fiberglass rod. I catch a red mullet, no reason for doing so, I just wanted to get a bit of fishing practice in. I move over to the river and the forest where I catch a pike and a lingcod. I don't know how many people feel the same way as me with this one, but I personally think the lingcod can be an absolute nightmare to catch. I would put it up there with the scorpion carp and the octopus. Back on the farm, I tend to my part-time role as a lumberjack. Wood is going to be an invaluable resource during our pursuit to complete the community centre. It's why I upgraded my axe twice before touching any other tool. I plop a recycling machine down beside a chest. Trash, broken glasses, and all those other rubbish items will be turned into cloth, torches, and refined quartz. I put the sturgeon bait I bought this morning to good use, and I catch a sturgeon up in the mountains. I caught a largemouth bass pretty soon after this, and then a bullhead. I do still have to get a carp for the river fish bundle, but ironically enough, the carp can be caught in every season except winter, which is the one we're in today. The remainder of the day is spent fishing at the beach. Day 13 is here, and along with it comes the egg festival. I grab 2 strawberry seeds. I know I can't plant them, but it's basically a rite of passage. You know, I gotta grab at least 1 strawberry seed every time I attend this festival. Of course, the main event of today's wonderful event is the egg hunt. To put it simply, me and the egg hunt is a bit like Roman Reigns in WrestleMania. I don't lose very often. Granted, there is a small but real chance that I can be defeated, but that isn't the case here today. I finished with 11 eggs collected, winning the event and securing the mythical straw hat. Any other time, I would happily put this on my head, but I really, and I cannot stress this enough, really like the hat I currently have on. I learned how to make a mackie roll on the morning of day 14. That will come in handy. I have to make one of those for the community centre. Speaking of the community centre, I catch a carp up in the mountain area and I donate it along with a sturgeon, a largemouth bass and a bullhead. A grand total of 300 wood has been used to repair the broken bridge at the beach. I mentioned it on day 3 I believe, that if I hit level 5 in fishing I can catch another legendary fish. I will be honest and say that I completely forgot about that fish until just now. You know what they say though? Better late than never. And so I position myself on the boardwalk on the right side of the beach and I cast my rod into the water. I have the smoker working away beside me as I'm fishing, so we've essentially got a bit of passive income happening right now. Turning our attention back to that legendary fish, I am of course referring to the crimson fish. It eventually shows up and it completely destroys me. It wasn't even close. That was an awful experience. Let's not have that happen again, please. It seems like the crimson fish has made the executive decision not to show up again, for a while anyway. So I decided to take a walk through the forest. I can't help but notice that William is here along with some other people. It turns out, completely unbeknownst to me, that the trout derby has been taking place today. If we can catch a rainbow trout, we have a chance of getting a tag. We can trade a tag in for a reward. I got one. Yeah, I got one tag, and I just couldn't get any more after that. To the surprise of nobody, I'm sure, I warp to the beach and continue my fishing adventures here. If there is one thing that I've learned from this challenge so far, it is that I have severely overlooked just how profitable fishing during summer can be. Anyway, the rest of the day is, surprise surprise, spent fishing at the beach. Now that I think about it, I've actually done a lot today. Except, ironically enough, the one thing I actually wanted to do. Catch the crimson fish. Oh well, see you tomorrow. It is day 15 and the special orders board is gone. Interesting. I use my axe to chop down the log that blocks the entrance to the secret woods. We now have access to easy hardwood every day. Or at least every day that I remember to come here. On top of that, we can also catch the wood skip in the pond here. We need that fish for the community center, so it goes without saying that I am going to catch it. And I do. Now that that has been taken care of, I clear out the trees on the middle island on our farm. I'm going to have a coop and a barn built here as soon as I can. And by soon, I mean today. I collect a bunch of smoked fish from the chest on the beach and bring them to William. He doesn't want them. I was left feeling perplexed by this for a moment until I remembered that we have to sell them to Abigail's father, not William. I donate a wood skip and a puffer fish, followed by 198 wood to the construction bundle. 5 of the 6 bundles in the crafts room have now been completed. I'm pleasantly surprised by how things are going so far. I feel like we're doing pretty well for ourselves. More importantly though, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I get really excited at the beginning of each day. And we just made over 12,000 gold, so that certainly helps. Demetrius has decided to pay us a visit on the morning of day 16. There is a cave on our farm. We can either have mushrooms grow within that cave, or we can have fruit bats fly into the cave and drop various fruit. Most of the time I lean towards the mushrooms, but I'm going to go with the fruit bats this time. We can't plant any fruit trees on the farm. Wait, no, we can. We absolutely can. If you plant a fruit tree, it will grow no matter what season it is, right? It will only drop the actual fruit during whatever season that fruit is tied to. So, for example, if I planted an apple tree right now, it should be able to grow fully, and after 28 days, I believe, it would then produce an apple each time we're in fall. So, fruit trees are still a viable option despite the season changing every day. I mean, I've gone with the fruit bats, so I'll just get the fruit I need for the community center that way, but that's an interesting discovery we've just made here. I found a book called Woody's Secret while chopping down a tree outside Robin's house. By reading this book, trees now have a 5% chance to drop more wood. It's a Tuesday, which means Robin's shop isn't open. Well, technically speaking, it isn't open. But if we time it just right, we can click on the counter as Robin is walking past and open up the shop menu. A coop has just been added to the farm. Clinton has finished upgrading our pickaxe. I used to have a bit of beef with Clinton. There were a couple of instances in previous playthroughs where he just wasn't in his shop when I needed him to be. But he's been fairly reliable for a while now, like just now he's agreed to upgrade the pickaxe again. I think it might be time for me to wipe the slate clean with Clinton. Let's start fresh. I crack open a mystery box and I get escargot. We shall receive a +2 to our fishing level when we eat it, so that is a nice item to get here. While I was chopping down trees in the forest, I noticed there were several people here. So I believe what's happened is the game sort of thinks the Trout Derby is on today, but it also knows that it's winter, so it took away the tent where you can trade your tags for rewards. So basically, it looks like the Trout Derby is available for these people, but not me. I can't really do anything with this. I catch a goby in the waterfall beside the Hat Mouse's house. I completely exhausted myself with this one action, but it's okay because I can just eat the goby to get my energy back. Except I can't do that because it gives negative energy. That is unfortunate. Luckily, I find a crystal fruit, so I'm able to replenish some of my energy. I plop a crab pot into the river in town and take a gander at the special orders board. Gustavo wants 24 eggs and Lewis would like us to ship 100 cranberries. I can't do either of these two things right now. I find a nautilus shell at the beach, wonderful, I need that for the community center. And I place 2 crab pots in the water here. If I'm lucky, these crab pots will produce the items I need for the crab pot bundle. But if not, it's okay. I'm sure I'll find these naturally over time anyway. I reach level 5 in foraging and choose the Gatherer perk. We're going back to basics on day 17 as we begin with a bit of foraging. The crab pot in town has produced a crayfish, just what we need. After some routine fishing takes place at the beach, I make a donation to the museum and then I buy some coal which will be used for the smoking of fish. I donate a clam and the aforementioned crayfish, which leaves us with one final fishing bundle. We only need 2 fish for it. The sandfish, which we can get in the desert, and a ghost fish, which we can get in the mines. Day 18. Right, let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for us to unlock the desert. To do so, we need 42,500 gold. We have 304 gold. In other words, I need to fish my heart out. And what better day to begin that on than on a summer day? As I've said before, the fish we can catch here today sell for a nice chunk of change, especially when you smoke them. I plan on putting every fish I catch into the smoker. Every fish, Except one. The crimson fish. I have other ideas for that one. But first we need to actually catch the crimson fish. Now, it did embarrass me the last time I tried to catch it, but that will not happen here today. The very nanosecond that crimson fish appears, I lock in. The crimson fish did not stand a chance. I caught it with almost zero hassle thanks to a lethal combination of sheer willpower and the desire to make a ton of gold. As much as I want to and sort of need to continue fishing, I decide to take a break. I don't want to intimidate the fish here too much. You know, the last thing I want is for them to just stop showing up because they've heard that an absolute handcrafted specimen like myself is catching fish after fish after fish after fish. Instead, what I do is I grab my pickaxe and I spend some time in the mines. I make it down to floor 90 where I find the obsidian edge sword in a treasure chest. I continue steamrolling my way through these caverns, reaching floor 95. How do I feel about how today went? Well, as Ice Cube once said, it was a good day. The traveling cart has blessed us with its presence on day 19. It's selling a yam. Nice, that is our first crop secured. The first of many, I hope. I ask Marnie to add some chickens to her new coop. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Hotch, Morgan, Reed, and Prentice. I add a few pieces of hay to the coop, gotta make sure our new chickens are well fed before checking the bat cave. I find a peach in here which I very much need. I sell a few items to Clinton, not just once but twice, and it was certainly very nice. With a delicious 5,000 gold in her bank account, I ask Robin to build a pond on the farm. This is where the crimson fish comes in. When Robin has finished constructing this pond, I will toss the crimson fish into it. Then we can begin getting crimson fish roe, which I believe is worth 700 gold apiece. Next on the agenda is a trip to the mines where I make a beeline for floor 100. Upon reaching this magical area, I open the treasure chest and I retrieve the star drop it contains. I spend the remainder of the day collecting iron ore, but especially coal. We are going to need as much of that stuff as we can get our hands on for the fish smoker. Upon entering the beach on day 20, a little box appears in the top left corner of the screen. The Squid Fest takes place today. You can get some really nice rewards during this event, and all you have to do is catch squid, so I'm absolutely going to be taking part in this event. But first, Rusty Spoon. Right, okay, we have a bit of an issue. Squids are supposed to show up all day during Squid Fest, but I think the game is not allowing that to happen because of the whole going from spring to summer to fall to winter every day thing. It's not too big of a deal. Squid usually start showing up at around 6 PM, so I can just come back to the beach at that time and we should be good. In the meantime, I catch a ghost fish, and another ghost fish, and another one. I was aiming to get an ice pip, but it decided to take the day off, I guess. Shortly after 6 PM, I return to the beach and I can indeed confirm that squid are now showing up. That is wonderful news. They're not the worst fish to catch in terms of difficulty, I mean. So, despite being at a bit of a disadvantage because of how late I've started catching them, there's still more than enough time for us to get all 10 of them. I toss every fish I've caught into the fish smoker chest, including the squid, as you don't have to trade them for the rewards at the end. Speaking of, I receive a trap bobber, mystery boxes, a dish of the sea, a treasure chest, triple shot espressos, a squid hat, and the Art of Crabbing book. This book gives us a 25% chance to get double of each item from a crab pot. The dish of the sea gives a +3 to fishing when you eat it, so that should come in handy for us. Day 21 has arrived, and so has our fish pond. I put the crimson fish into it before running down to the traveling cart. They are selling an orange and a poppy, 2 items needed for the community center. I try to buy them only to realize that I am broke. I can't afford to dilly-dally here. I toss my inventory into a chest and make a beeline for the beach. I grab as many fish as I can and sell them, bumping us up to almost 10,000 gold. I make it back to the traveling cart with plenty of time to spare and buy the orange and the poppy. I wanted to have a look at Marnie's shop, but she wasn't at the counter. Feeling a bit frustrated, I swung my pickaxe into the ground. This action resulted in me becoming exhausted. That's instant karma right there. I apologize, Marnie. I shouldn't have swung my pickaxe into the floor in your house. I'm really sorry. Feeling both embarrassed and ashamed, I eat a daffodil and skedaddle out of the area. The rest of the day is spent in the mines. On day 22, I drop by the museum to donate some items, have Clinton crack open geodes and mystery boxes, and ask Robin to add a barn to the farm. I donate a few more artifacts and minerals and buy a bunch of bait from William. Then I spot something interesting in the crafting menu. Deluxe bait. I completely forgot I can make that. I need bait, which I just bought, and moss, which I was able to get when the green mist descended upon the valley some time ago. I retrieve the moss from a chest and make as much deluxe bait as possible. And now, finally, with all of that out of the way, I can spend the rest of the day fishing. Bubbles appeared, which is absolutely sterling. The more fish we get, the better. The crimson fish has produced 2 roe on day 23. That is a good start. Now let's keep the ball rolling and get as much of that stuff as we can. Staying on the topic of fish, it is time to expand our fish smoking operation. I want to make at least 2 more fish smokers, which means I need to buy the fish smoker crafting recipe from William for 10,000 gold. And I will need 10 hardwood, 1 cave jelly, 1 river jelly, and 1 sea jelly to make 1 smoker. That sounds like a lot of work. I don't know if I want to do all of that. Regardless, I find myself on floor 100 of the mines where I managed to get 2 cave jelly. That will do, thank you very much. I donate a poppy, an orange, and a yam, then it is back to getting the resources I need for the smokers. I really tried, and I spent a lot of time at this river, but I finished the day with 0 river jelly. That is something I would classify as being not very chill. Demetrius has a special order for us on day 24. He would like us to catch 20 river fish. This is good timing as I am once again going to attempt to get some river jelly. I'll do something I don't do often. I will make a long story short. I completed his order, receiving 1,500 gold for doing so. And we will receive the crafting recipe for the computer in the mail tomorrow. As for the river jelly, at this point, I have not gotten any. But there is plenty of time left in the day. In much better news, I got the Jewels of the Sea book in a treasure chest. We now have an opportunity to find a roe in each and every treasure chest we open while fishing. And now for the not good news. My smoker and the chest I put here at the beach have disappeared. I'm hoping it's because the night market is open tonight, and that the smoker and my chest will be back here tomorrow. I will be so very upset if I've just lost them forever. In the meantime, I may as well relax and enjoy the night market while it's here. The traveling cart has arrived, but they aren't selling anything I need. That's alright though. I enter the boat where the mermaid show takes place. You can get a pearl here, which is worth 2,500 gold, and all you have to do to get it is press the mermaid shells in a specific order. That order is 1, 5, 4, 2, 3. With the pearl acquired, I pay 250 gold to be teleported back to the farm. I toss a few fish and crimson fish roe into the shipping bin before heading back into town. I'm not quite ready to admit defeat when it comes to the river jelly. Okay, no, I lied. I am absolutely ready to admit defeat. I spend the night fishing in the submarine at the night market. Truth be told, I'm not entirely sure why I did this. I'm not trying to catch every fish, so I don't have to catch the fish in here. But it ended up being therapeutic in a way. I don't know what it is about this submarine, but fishing in here makes me feel very relaxed. In terms of the 3 fish you can catch in here, the blobfish and the midnight squid were acquired, but not the spookfish. 12,000 gold has been added to our bank account. A cherry has been deposited in the Batcave on day 25. That is another fruit crossed off the list. I check out the bookseller, but I don't actually buy anything. I need to save my money for the vault room. I do grab the prize ticket that's hidden behind the bookseller while I'm here though. I ask Robin to add a silo to the farm for 100 gold, which is a very good deal in my opinion. I receive a second prize ticket from the special orders board and exchange the 2 of them for summer squash seeds and a peach tree sapling. I collect some fish from the chest at the beach and I sell everything in my inventory. We now have 30,000 gold. We are so very close to the magical number of 42,500. I move my smoker to the mines and plop the remaining fish in a chest beside it. I'm going to let that work away and do its thing while I spend the rest of the day collecting coal. A further 8,000 gold has been added to our bank account. The travelling cart has pulled a bit of a scallywag maneuver on day 26. It's selling a bunch of seeds but no actual crops. I buy a garlic seed, but that was a reflex action more than anything else. I always grab them when I see them being sold during the first year. And now, finally, it is time for me to unlock the bus to the desert. I can feel the dopamine being produced in my body at a rate that was previously unknown to humanity as I buy the bundles in the vault room. Our second room has just been completed. 2 down, 4 to go. Alongside the bus being repaired, I have also received a lightning rod, quality fertilizer, a crystallarium, and chocolate cake. I donate a peach and a cherry, leaving us with 3 more items to donate to the artisan bundle. I've been thinking about the vault room bundles, specifically about the reward you get, and I had an idea. Bear with me here. What if, instead of getting the items I mentioned, you get a different reward? If you donate all 42,500 gold, then you get to choose one item in the game as a reward. It can be any item you want. Maybe not including items you can only get on Ginger Island, but outside of that, there's no limitation. So you could choose the Galaxy Sword, or the Iridium Fishing Rod, or an Iridium Pickaxe, or watering can, or any other tool. You could even just pick a piece of stone if you wanted to. I've just had another idea, bear with me here. You have 2 options. You can either choose any item you want as a reward, or you can automatically complete any one bundle of your choosing. Not an entire room, just one bundle within a room. Does that sound like a good idea to anybody? It does to me, but then again, I just like making the game a bit easier for myself, so I might be biased here. Anywhomst, I reached the bottom of the mines and obtained the Skull Key. Just in time too. I am in dire need of some money after today, so I sell a bunch of items before heading to Sleepy Town. I want to clarify something as we begin day 27. If you don't know what a dire need is, it's basically a need, but it's dire. I'm sorry. With a barn now on our farm, I ask Marnie to add some cows to it. Once again, please join me in welcoming the following cows to the barn. 001, 120, and 230. Now that I'm saying those names out loud, I realize it might seem like I'm trying to do the glitch where you give your animals the ID number of an item to receive that item. I want to clarify that is not what I'm trying to do here. I mean, they're the numbers of the characters in Season 2 of Squid Game. I think I might be just a little obsessed with Squid Game at the moment. I really enjoyed the second season. I need number 3 to come out like immediately, like today. Please just release Season 3. I need to know what happens. Moving on quickly now, I sell a few items to Abigail's father. It feels weird saying his name. It might take some more time before I say it again. I ask Robin to upgrade the coop. Now that the desert has been unlocked, the majority of our funds will be going towards upgrading the barn and the coop and buying animals for them. Speaking of the desert, I hop on the bus and I arrive there. I pick up a cactus fruit and very luckily get a coconut by shaking a tree. I catch a sandfish for community center purposes, of course. Then something very unexpected happens. I get river jelly. I didn't know that you could get that stuff here in the desert. It's definitely happened before, but I think I just forgot about it. It was a nice surprise. I spend a bit more time fishing here, then I head to floor 60 of the mines. I accidentally sold all of my ghost fish, so I have to get a fresh one. When that has been done, I donate it and the sandfish. Not only do I get 5 dish of the sea dishes, we've also just finished the last fishing bundle. And there's more. I donate the cactus fruit and the coconut I picked up earlier today to finish off the final foraging bundle. I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but we only have 2 more rooms left. We are in a fantastic position, I think. I'm not trying to jinx it, but I'm feeling good about what we have left to do. The father of Abigail has shown up on day 28. He informs us that if we keep buying seeds from him, we'll be twice as productive next year. First of all, are you having a laugh? I haven't bought a single seed from you. Be gone from my farm. And secondly, as much as I don't like to admit it, he is technically correct about it being the end of the year as we are on the 28th day of winter. But in reality, it's actually just the end of our first season, so to speak. I feel like I've played enough at this point to give my thoughts on this whole thing. In short, I'm really enjoying this. It's a shame we can't plant any seeds, but I mean, other than that, the season changing every day has been nothing but positive for us. We've been able to complete 4 out of the 6 rooms in the community center. I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for the season changing every day. And on top of that, we've experienced so much more of the game than we would have playing normally. So yeah, overall, I'm still having a lot of fun with this. It's been a challenge, that's for sure, but I've had such a good experience with this so far. The traveling cart is selling a cauliflower, I need to buy that. I grab all sorts of items from the beach and the chest on the beach and sell them to William. It's been a while since I've said hello to a trash can, so I do that on my way back to the forest. I grab the cauliflower and a maple syrup. I collect the items that have been produced by the recycling machine and some crimson fish roe. Then I watch a cutscene featuring William. We can now partake in the panning activity. Normally I would take the copper pan that William has given me here and put it on my head. You know, wear it as a hat. That won't be happening here though, as I've grown very fond of the hat I'm currently wearing. The quarry has also been unlocked after completing the foraging bundles. I waste no time clearing this area out and planting different tree saplings here. When they've grown, I shall place tappers on at least 1 oak, 1 pine and 1 maple tree. I donate maple syrup, a sea urchin, a cauliflower and a piece of cloth. The cloth was produced by the recycling machine. I find the shadow creature hiding behind a bush and he gives me the magnifying glass. And that is all for today. Emily has decided to visit us on the morning of day 29. The gist of her visit is she is allowing us to use the sewing machine inside our house. That for some reason reminds me of the time I was like 8 years old in school, and it was my turn to read like a few pages in a history book or something we were reading. One of the lines I had to read went something like, "During this period in history, girls were taught how to sew." Now I had never come across the word sew before, and so I said, "During this period in history, girls were taught how to sew." That is not relevant at all to what is going on here, but I just wanted to share that with you all. In other news, our animals seem to be thriving here on the farm. No sign of a big egg yet from our chickens, but there's no rush, they can take their time. A tree chopping session is on the agenda for today. While I was doing this, I found a pot of gold near the hat mouse. I clicked on it and I received 2,000 gold and a leprechaun hat. I looked into it and I should have only gotten 200 gold from this pot according to the Stardew Valley wiki page, as we are in year 1. That being said, I did accidentally set it to year 2 last night, but I changed it back to year 1 this morning, so maybe that had something to do with this? According to the Stardew wiki page I mentioned, you get an extra 25 gold each year, so apparently the game thinks we're in year 72. I don't know. You know what? My headcanon here is that I got 2,000 gold because I'm Irish. That's what happened here. I do a bit of panning back on the farm and I get some iron ore. Some more crimson fish roe has been produced, which I will happily take. I do a bit of fishing on floor 68 of the mines, mainly to pass the time. I wanted to take it easy today while still working on our fishing level. At around 1 AM, I toss some things into the shipping bin and I call it a day. I toss a chicken egg into the incubator in the coop on the morning of day 30. We will get an extra chicken out of this in a few days' time. I ask Robin to upgrade the barn. When this is finished, we will only have one more upgrade left to get for both the coop and the barn. It will be expensive, I'm sure, but it will also be worth it. I sell some items to Clinton, including refined quartz and gold and iron bars. Ordinarily, I would never do this, but I don't need to make quality sprinklers, so I don't mind selling them here. I buy the fish smoker. Okay, you know what? We're going full Irish. Alright, I've been holding back. Let's do it. I buy the fish smoker crafting recipe for 10,000 gold, and I make a grand total of 3 new fish smokers. We are about to reach the pinnacle of fish smoking efficiency. Just in time too, considering how much gold we'll need to afford the coop and the barn upgrades I mentioned. I spend the rest of the day fishing here at the beach. I will be forever grateful to the bubbles for making it less time consuming to catch copious amounts of fish. Just before I leave, I take all of the smoked fish I have out of the chest and catch a halibut for good luck. I toss the fish into the shipping bin and I go to bed. I hit level 10 in fishing, so I of course choose the perk that gives us 50% more gold when we sell fish. Exciting news on day 31 as we have received our first big egg. If I can get a brown one, then that's 2 items sorted for the animal bundle. I talked to the dwarf for the first time. I should have done this a lot sooner, but I kinda sorta forgot that I unlocked the ability to do this. It usually takes me a bit longer to get the dwarvish translation guide. I apologize to the dwarf for this one. I get the mystery hat from a mystery box along with 10 bombs. Not bad. Not bad at all. I donate 2 items to Gunther, drop the big white egg off at the community center, and check out the special orders board. Evelyn would like us to collect 12 leeks and give them to George. I'll accept this order, but realistically I won't be able to do it. The special orders board tends to work fine during fall and winter, but then it disappears once I enter spring. I chop down trees for the remainder of the day. I plant a decent amount of maple tree saplings in the quarry on day 32. I'm running a bit low on trees to chop down in pretty much every other area, so it's time for us to create a little tree farm here. The Feast of the Winter Star takes place today, which shouldn't happen. This has already taken place. I believe what's going on here is we have just looped around to the beginning all over again. As in, each day is now going to be the same as it was during the first 4 weeks. So day 1 was Spring 1, but day 29 was also Spring 1. Day 2 was Summer 9, but day 30 was also Summer 9. I think I have a solution though. If I just skip forward 1 day, then we should be out of this loop. This whole thing isn't a big deal at all, thankfully. It just means that if I want to play through every day in year 1, which I do, I'll have to do an extra 4 days. So our first year will be 116 days rather than 112 days, which I'm fine with. And here we are on day 33, where it is Spring 6 rather than Spring 5. We're all good now, everything's gravy, we've officially broken out of the loop. After selling some items to Clinton and even more items to Pierre, I still am not used to saying his name, I head into William's shop. He isn't here. That's an inconvenience, but it's okay, I'm sure he has a good reason. He's off doing something very important, I'm sure, no doubt about that. I sell some fishy wishies to Abigail's father, and I spend some time gathering stone in the mines. I'm on a bit of a time crunch here as I don't want Robin's shop to close before I get there. I end up buying the remaining stone I need just to be safe, and I ask her to upgrade the barn. It is time to fish for the rest of the day. The traveling cart is not selling any crops on day 34. It's a little disappointing when this happens, but we're still in the early stages of the game. Oh, also I mentioned a little ago that I accidentally set the year to year 2 instead of year 1. We're still in year 1, I immediately changed it back when I realized what happened. Nothing has changed except for one small little thing. Kent is here now. Yeah, he's decided that even though it's year 1, he's here to stay. If you think about it, I brought him home and reunited him with his family early, so I mean, well done us, right? After selling some fish, I buy some coal which will be used to smoke more fish. It's a bit of a relentless cycle, I will admit, but it's a profitable one all the same. I'm sure you can guess what I spent the rest of the day doing. That's right, fishing. I retrieved the crab pots in the river on day 35 before checking the special orders board. Linus wants us to fish 20 pieces of trash out of the water. This one I actually can do within a day, so I'm going to accept it. I buy a couple hundred bait, sell some fish, and buy some stone and wood from Robin. I then ask her to upgrade our house. This will add a kitchen to the place, allowing us to make a fried egg and a mackie roll which we can bring to the community center. I chop down some trees, make tree fertilizer and 4 tappers, and sprinkle the fertilizer on the tree saplings in the quarry. Clinton very kindly breaks open some geodes and mystery boxes for me. Nothing too noteworthy is received here, but we do get a few coffees, which is always a valuable thing considering we can't grow coffee beans on the farm. I spend the majority of the day in the mines on floor 100. The water here is perfect to go fishing in if you want to catch trash, which I absolutely do right now. I catch all 20 pieces and drop them off in a dumpster, just like Linus requested of me. Talking about Linus, he has sent us the crafting recipe for the fiber seeds in the mail on day 36. He also has decided to, I'm not really sure how to describe what I'm seeing here. I think what we should do is just let him do his thing in the lake and move on to something else as quickly as possible. I enter the mine system in the quarry. I picked up the steel falcon in a chest in the mines on floor 110, so getting through here is a walk in the park. I make it to the end of the area where I grab the golden scythe. The handy thing about this is you can click on the statue that was holding the scythe to teleport back to the entrance of the quarry. You don't have to actually walk all the way back the way you came, which is nice. I do a bit of fishing up here in the mountains, buy some coal, and return to what is essentially my second home. Or, well, at this point I think I can call it my first home really. The beach. I don't think I need to say what I spent the rest of the day doing here. I donate 2 big eggs to the community center on day 37. I ask Clinton to upgrade my pickaxe. When I get this back, I shall venture into the Skull Caverns for the first time. I collect a prize ticket from the special orders board and I exchange it for mixed seeds. Lovely. I can't plant these and they're worth 0 gold. Thank you so much, Lewis. The green mist has returned on day 38. I use moss I collected to make deluxe bait, collect more moss, and find a big green tree thingy. I was really hoping one of these would pop up today as it drops fiddlehead ferns when you chop it down. I have to donate one of those to the community center. You know the drill, it's back to the beach. A number of trees, well a lot of the trees I planted in the forest have grown on day 39, so I waste no time chopping them down again. I make sure to plant the saplings I have on me as I do so. The golden pickaxe has been acquired, so I sell fish to Abigail's father and stock up on salads in the saloon before hopping on the bus to the desert, where I enter the Skull Caverinos for the very first time in this playthrough. My goal here is to reach floor 25. If I can do that, then a mysterious person called Mr. Key will send us 10,000 gold in the mail. It's a challenge of his, you see, and that is the reward we get for completing it. My time in here goes rather smoothly. Even the serpents on floor 21 couldn't defeat me despite the very large quantity of them. I reach floor 25 at around 12:30 AM. Challenge complete. I leave the cavern soon after this and I exchange a prismatic shard I found for the galaxy sword. The aforementioned Mr. Key has sent us a letter on day 40. This is the letter where he challenges us to make it to floor 25. We've already done that, so he'll send us our money in the mail tomorrow. I make some more tappers and I place them on the oak, pine, and maple trees in the quarry. I wanted to sell some things to William, but he isn't in his shop again. Why are Abigail's father and Clinton being more reliable than William in this playthrough? That never happens. I think, now just bear with me here, I think the season changing every day is messing with William, I don't know what I'm just trying to come up with an excuse for him. It's fine, it is what it is, I forgive you William, it's okay. Let's focus on a positive piece of news instead, which is I have so much fish that I have to do multiple trips to the shop in order to sell them all. I hope I'm not coming across as arrogant in this video. If anything, I'm just really surprised that things are going well for us right now. It is taking a lot of brain power, don't get me wrong, like every single brain cell I have has been activated since day 1 and I'm going to take a 72-hour nap in real life when this is all over. But things are going well for us, which is, you know, nice. I was even able to ask Robin to upgrade our coop for the 3rd and final time today. Mr. Key has of course delivered on his promise and sent us 10,000 gold on day 41. Thank you very much. The traveling cart has also blessed us with some lovely items on this glorious day. I'm able to buy a tomato and a hot pepper. That is 2 of the 4 summer crops I need. The remaining 2 are a melon and a blueberry. I ask Marnie to add a duck to the coop. I call it Jimmy. I also ask her to add a goat called Gary. I say good morning to the trash cans, buy some rice, and introduce myself to Sandy, the owner of the shop here in the desert. Back on the farm, I make a Mackie roll and some fried eggs before going to Marnie. I buy a milk pail and 10 hay. I donate the Mackie roll, a fried egg, and the 10 pieces of hay to the bulletin board bundles, along with a tomato and a hot pepper to the summer crops bundle. Finally, the maple trees I planted in the quarry have grown, so I chop those down. As always, I replace them with more maple tree saplings. We have received not just 1 but 2 large milks on day 42. I celebrate this wonderful occasion by giving a ruby to the dwarf for their birthday. I then toss my 2 large milks into the shipping bin. Oh, yeah, that isn't good, and I don't take them back out, by the way. They're gone. They've officially been sold. Ah, sure, look it. I'm sure we'll get another one soon enough anyway. I ask Robin to add a second pond to the farm. This is more for aesthetic purposes than anything else. And by that I mean I zoned out and I did not realize what I was doing while I was asking her to build the pond on the farm. I made a few questionable choices today, I will admit. I believe some relaxation time is exactly what I need. And what better way to relax than by fishing at the beach for the rest of the day. On day 43, I want to talk a little about the rest of this challenge while I do my routine tasks. At this point, I only have to get a few more items outside of the traveling cart. Once I've gotten those items, we will be relying exclusively on the generosity of the traveling merchant. And by that I mean it's completely dependent on luck. This could take weeks or it could take years and years. There's really only one way to find out. It also means the details of what I do each day will be significantly shorter from this point forward. With that in mind, the rest of day 43 is spent fishing. Day 44 is spent exclusively fishing up in the mountain area. On day 45, I spend the morning in the mines collecting coal. Following that, I toss a blackberry into a preserves jar and spend the remainder of the day fishing at the beach. The traveling cart has blessed us with its presence on day 46. That is about the extent of the good news, however, as it is not selling anything I need. More fishing takes place at the beach. Day 47 begins in probably the best way possible as I finally get my hands on another large milk. I was a bit of a silly goose the first time I got large milk and sold both of them, so it is imperative I do not repeat that mistake. And that mistake is indeed not repeated as I immediately donate it to the community center. Our trees in the quarry have produced oak resin, pine tar and maple syrup. I spend some time in the mines, then I place a bee house down beside the preserves jar. This was an aesthetic choice as it won't actually produce honey. It takes 4 days for honey to be produced. The problem is, it resets when we enter winter, so it can never fully complete the honey making process. I return to the mines for the rest of the day. The preserves jar has produced blackberry jam on day 48. Wonderful, I have to donate that. The good news train keeps on rolling steadily along the tracks as the traveling cart is selling corn. I also buy a triple shot espresso for the speed boost it gives us. I sell enough fish to be able to afford a pig. As always, please join me in welcoming Russell to the farm. I wanted to buy a rabbit along with the pig, but I cannot, as it is 8,000 gold. I thought it was 4,000 gold for some reason. The blackberry jam and the corn have both been donated. Slowly but surely, we are creeping closer and closer to completing these final few remaining bundles. I was actually able to complete the Dust Sprite Monster Eradication goal this evening. If anything, this is just a testament to how much time I've spent gathering coal in the mines. It also means we have just unlocked the Burglar Ring. This gives us a much better chance to get loot from monsters we defeat. A duck egg has been acquired on day 49. This is not important at all as I have already donated one to the community center. I donate an oak resin and return to my happy place, the beach. I decide to take it easy on day 50 and sleep through the entire day. I ask Marnie to add a rabbit to the coop on day 51. Ernest has been welcomed to the animal family with open arms. The Batcave has decided to be extraordinarily generous to us on day 52 as I find an apricot inside here. Our goat has also produced a large goat milk. I donate the apricot to complete the artisan bundle, and the donation of the large goat milk completes the animal bundle. At this point, I'm aiming to find the following items outside of the traveling cart: a truffle, a duck feather, a bottle of wine, a rabbit's foot, and a pomegranate. I received a keg for completing the artisan bundle, so I place it beside the other machines and toss an apricot into it. The traveling cart is selling an apple on day 53. We need 2 more of these and then we can cross it off the list. A rabbit's foot is also being sold. I decide to grab it rather than wait, honestly who knows how long, for the rabbit we bought to produce one. I donate the rabbit's foot. I go to bed immediately on day 54, essentially skipping that day entirely as there's really nothing to be done here. The traveling cart continues to be kind to us on day 55 as a blueberry is being sold. If I can get my hands on a melon, we can fully complete the summer crops bundle. A pomegranate has appeared in the Batcave on day 56. Believe me when I say I am not taking the good luck I am having right now for granted. Day 57 is essentially a nothing day as I simply pick up everything in the coop and toss them into the shipping bin. I sleep through day 58. Apricot wine is ready to collect on day 59. And our pig has found not one but 2 truffles. I donate one of these truffles, the apricot wine, and a pomegranate. Literally all I need to get now is the duck feather. Will we be able to get our hands on one the next time we go to the travelling cart? The answer to that question is revealed on day 60. And that answer is no. It looks like we may have to get it the old-fashioned way. And by that I mean we have to wait and hope our duck drops it for us. Before I go to sleep today, I make sure to bump the time forward by a week as always. On top of that, I also skip forward a day so we don't loop around to the 6th day of spring once again. Day 61 is a travelling cart day as a result of us skipping what would have been a Saturday and going straight to Sunday. No crops are being sold here. Sad times. I sleep through day 62 and day 63. I spy with my little eye a duck feather on day 64. I donate it and breathe a sigh of relief. We've done it. We have officially taken care of every single item we can get outside of the crops. Day 65 is exclusively spent sleeping. Day 66 is a travelling cart day. I got very excited when I saw the blueberry, but then I realized I already have one of those. Day 67 is here and I'm going to sleep. Day 68 is a rainy day. During winter. This is pretty cool. I actually really like the whole, the aesthetic of rain in winter. Unfortunately, no crops are being sold in the cart. The Desert Festival takes place on day 69. I think I've made it very clear that I love the hat I'm wearing. As for everything else, not quite my tempo. I feel like I've outgrown these clothes and I am in dire need of a fresh outfit. Luckily for me, Emily has provided me with some brand new clothes. I gotta say, I like this. I like this a lot. I believe I have just found my forever outfit. In other news, I was really hoping Marnie would be selling wheat in her stall. I need 10 pieces of it, so it would have been a lifesaver. She isn't selling any wheat though, so it looks like we'll have to get all 10 from the cart. Speaking of the cart, I buy the spicy eel it is selling. I sleep through day 70, and 71, and 72. I have no luck with the cart on day 73. I think I'm just going to skip through every day except travelling cart days from here on out, just to save time. I purchase a pumpkin on day 75. On day 80, I'm able to acquire a parsnip. This also completes the introduction quest to grow and harvest a parsnip. Wait a minute, I just realized I didn't have to do any of the work involved in getting the seed and planting it and then harvesting it. All I had to do was wait 80 days and buy it from the travelling cart. I guess that's just another big victory for us, am I right? I have no luck with the cart on day 82, and it's the same story on day 87. I needed a bit of a motivational boost, shall we say, so I donated the parsnip and the pumpkin. I'm noticing a bit of a trend on day 93 and I'm not liking it as the cart is still not selling anything we need. I am not liking the general aura, the general vibe of the travelling cart right now. I think it's trying to taunt me now because the travelling cart is selling multiple seeds on day 95 along with a strawberry, but nothing we actually need. So close and yet so far. Day 100 is here and the cart still has nothing for us. But look, we're in triple digits now. The big 100 has come and is about to go, so maybe our luck will pick up from this point forward. Please let it pick up. Please give me better luck with the travelling cart. Day 102 is here and nope, nothing. An apple is being sold on day 107 though. I will take that, thank you very much. Day 109 is not kind to us. Something magical happens on day 114 however. I have found an apple in the Batcave. It's also travelling cart day and a melon is being sold. I donate these magical items, finishing off the summer crops bundle as I do. And here we are on day 116. We have now played through every single day in year 1. Like I said before, there's 112 days in a year, but we had a bit of a kerfuffle and repeated 4 days by accident at the beginning of this entire thing. Hence our first year having 116 days instead. While I tried to find prismatic jelly for the wizard's special order, I just want to say that it has been a wild journey so far, really full of ups and downs. I think for year 2 and potentially year 3 and year 4 and well, who knows how long this entire thing is going to take, I'm not going to show the days where the travelling cart doesn't have anything we need. There's one more item on the agenda which I want to talk about. That thing I do where I skip forward a week every night, I'm realizing now that that was an awful idea. On the one hand, it allowed forage items to spawn in. On the other hand, however, it made the whole process of figuring out what day I'm on really confusing. So I took a step back here and I tried to come up with a different approach. One that would avoid us playing through the same day twice, but also make it really easy to keep track of what day we are on. The solution was actually really simple, like I'm kind of embarrassed that I didn't think of this at the beginning of this video. Allow me to explain. Here is what spring of year 2 is going to be like. Or rather the first 28 days of year 2. We don't skip forward a week, we just change the season every day. So day 1 is spring, day 2 is summer, day 3 is fall, day 4 is winter, and so on. This is season number 2. We begin in summer rather than in spring. That's it, that's all I have to do. For the 3rd season, we begin in fall, and for season number 4, we begin in winter. This makes sure that we won't play through the same day twice unless I am very much mistaken here. There is one last thing I want to say before we continue. I want to apologize for how confusing this may have gotten. I really do wish I had thought of this at the beginning of this entire playthrough. I hope you've still been able to enjoy watching me do this challenge despite all of this. I believe that covers everything I wanted to say here, so let's continue into year 2. Kent has officially arrived in the valley on day 117, so to speak. Anyway, he's actually been here for quite some time already. Like I said, I won't take up too much more of your time. Let's finish this. Day 128 is a lovely day as the travelling cart is selling a red cabbage. I buy the eggplant on day 130. You may notice that we have over 65,000 gold at our disposal. That is thanks to the dozens of crimson fish roe I sold last night. Jumping all the way ahead to day 184, I find a sunflower. 2 days later, on day 186, I buy the potato. Finally, on day 221, the cart has provided us with the mythical, majestic green bean. On day 228, aka the final day of year 2, I hippity hop my way to the community center. I donate the red cabbage and the sunflower to the bulletin board, and I use the green bean, potato, and eggplant to finish off the spring and fall crops bundles. And now the grind for the 10 pieces of wheat begins. Again, let's not waste any time here, let's jump straight into it. The first piece of wheat appears in the travelling cart on the final day of the 2nd season, in year 5, or alternatively, day 508. Something magical happens on day 534, and I am not exaggerating when I say that. 5 whole pieces of wheat are being sold. That brings us up to a total of 6 wheat. Continuing into year 6, our 7th piece of wheat is obtained on day 576. Thankfully, we don't have too long to wait as day 604 yields the 8th piece of wheat. And 3 weeks later, on day 625, wheat number 9 is purchased. And finally, after all this time, on day 998, the 10th and final piece of wheat is being sold. For context, in a normal playthrough, that would be the 14th day of winter in year 9. At the beginning of this video, I asked one simple question. Can you complete the community center if the season changes every day? After almost 1,000 days, I can finally give you an answer. And that answer is no. No, you cannot. You see, after donating the 10 wheat and finishing off the bulletin board, there is still one bundle remaining. The Quality Crops Bundle. The only way to get your hands on the gold star crops you need for this bundle is by planting seeds and harvesting them. There is no other way of obtaining these items. At this point, we are well aware that we can't grow crops on our farm as a result of the season changing every day. If we had a garden pot, we could grow the seeds one by one indoors. It would take a long time, but eventually we would get the gold star crops we need. How exactly do we get the garden pot? Simple. We get it by unlocking the greenhouse. There is just one thing standing in the way of us unlocking the greenhouse, and that is of course the quality crops bundle. And so it is with a heavy heart that I admit defeat. It looks like our journey ends here, so close and yet so far from achieving our goal. Now I could get a Georgia membership and just buy the greenhouse, but I mean no, absolutely not, I'm not doing that. The way I see it, despite not being able to achieve what we set out to do, at least we can say we tried. And that is one of the most important things you can do in life. Try. Trying is a beautiful thing. When you try to do something, no matter the outcome, you are giving yourself the opportunity to learn new things, to discover more about yourself, to develop new strengths, and to improve your weaknesses. To stand tall and say loud and proud, I may have failed, but I gave it my all. I did everything I possibly could to make this work. I gave 101% of my being to this. And that is something to be proud of. That by itself is a success. You are a success. No matter what happens, when you try something new, when you step out of your comfort zone, when you take on a challenge, when you decide to do what makes you happy, or quite frankly, when you just make it to the next day, you should be proud of yourself. And with that, I shall bid you all adieu. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.